Ladies and gentlemen, what have I been telling you for the past, I don't know, year and a half? We're almost at 200,000 subscribers, and we've reached that point in somewhat of a methodical manner. It hasn't been this quick, you know, this quick rise to 200,000 subscribers because I'm talking about things that perhaps aren't that mainstream, but they're still important, very important, because they're a special counsel. This is a special counsel. Just like the Mueller probe, we now found out today that Madam Secretary is officially being investigated. He filed a motion, John Durham, based on Clinton purchasing or hiring, I should say, Clinton hiring an internet company, a tech company, and other people, Sussmann, paying Sussmann, the attorney at the Clinton-linked law firm, to engage in surveillance and set up and frame Trump's campaign. I'm not making this up. This is public record. So you have publications out there defending the Democratic Party. You have pundits out there defending Democrats, completely oblivious to reality. It is an absolute categorical fact that there is a special counsel that is investigating Clinton's campaign as of Friday. There's no doubt about that. There's also no doubt about the entire Trump-Russia narrative being completely and utterly fabricated. And I've been telling you this, and now we found out that the Alpha Bank story and the Steele dossier, they were all fabricated, contrived, made up, and paid for. And I've been saying this from day one. I wrote about this in the Federalist, and I've written also about this in the Daily Caller. And I was also writing about this when I was on the left in the Huffington Post in a different way. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, to my super chat. I can't do this without you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Everyone here, thank you. JG, Eric, and Luke, two best moderators in all of YouTube. Congratulations to the Rams. Fantastic Super Bowl victory. And what can I say? But hit subscribe. If you want to support this live stream, I can't do it without you. To my super chat, thank you. JG, Ted, everyone here, Billy, hello. David, Lexi, hello. Awake Canadian, hello. Let's start. So, it's all over the news now. The Clinton campaign paid to infiltrate Trump Tower, White House servers to link Trump to Russia. So this is pretty shady, pretty dirty. And they utilized, what they were able to do, this is infinitely worse than Watergate. Watergate was a break-in. It was a low-level break-in. Watergate was a low-level break-in where Nixon either knew or had people, he paid for it. He paid for it through the White House, through funds obtained by the White House, and he broke into the Democratic National Committee headquarters in Watergate using a bunch, like a crew called the Plumbers, and they were caught. And then what happened is that they were caught. Okay, then Nixon lied about it, and the cover-up is what got him. And he tried to do everything possible to distance himself at first, then first saying it never happened, then saying, well, you know what, I knew nothing about it. Okay, that's what it was all about. It was a low-level break-in where the president was caught covering up his involvement. That's it. Okay, this is a direct political rival of an incoming president engaging in digital surveillance. Okay, this is an entire political party utilizing loyalists and factions and loyalists and operatives within the United States government to set up and frame an incoming president and also engage in surveillance and also literally purchase numerous myths. And these are, the same people who fact check Trump are the greatest liars and deceivers of all time. They ignore the greatest, controversies and scandals and focus on minutia. But here, this is interesting. Tech executive one and his associates exploited this arrangement by mining the EOPs and DNS traffic and other data for the purpose of gathering derogatory information about Donald Trump. And there were people within the United States government that just needed a pretext. These were operatives: James Comey, Clapper, Brennan, Strzok, McCabe, Kleinsmith. Then you have attorneys like Sussmann. Then you have people outside of government like the Steele Subsource and Christopher Steele and Fusion GPS and others. And they just set up and framed Trump. That's all they did. And media ran with it. They didn't want to believe. They did not want to believe that Trump could defeat Clinton without the help of some kind of foreign adversary. They simply did not want to believe that it was possible. They didn't want to believe that they could lose to Trump. So they needed a pretext to investigate him. And suspicion was enough. Now, when Trump is suspicious of mashed potato brains Biden, JG, thank you. I hopefully the stream, continues to work. And if you get kicked off, ladies and gentlemen, just try to log back on. I apologize for the inconvenience. But we'll just read this. Lawyers for the Clinton campaign paid a technology company to infiltrate servers belonging to Trump Tower. So Madam Secretary doesn't do it herself. She just gets her lawyers to do it. Okay, well, if you get your lawyers to commit a criminal act, you're actually committing that act. You're just getting people to do it for you. And later the White House. Okay, this was when he was president also. Lawyers for the Clinton campaign paid a technology company to infiltrate servers belonging to Trump Tower and later the White House in order to establish an inference and narrative to bring the government agencies linking Donald Trump to Russia. A filing from Special Counsel John Durham says. John Durham put away Connolly, the FBI agent, for working alongside Whitey Bulger and criminals in Boston. He knows exactly what government officials do. John Durham knows exactly how James Comey and Andrew McCabe and Peter Strzok and Clapper and Brennan and all of these people, he knows exactly what they did, how they utilized their posts, their bureaucratic posts, the power they had, the momentary fleeting power that they had. He knows exactly how they utilized that power. Okay, he knows exactly how they were able to utilize that power. And it's not difficult. It's not rocket science. They simply pretended to be suspicious. They pretended that there was a reason to be suspicious. So this is an example. What Clinton did is she gave people within government like Comey and Strzok and McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, Kleinsmith, all of these people, she gave them a pretext to investigate Trump. That's all that was needed. You have journalists everywhere from Mother Jones to the Washington Post, the New York Times, BuzzFeed. All of these people, these are lifelong liberal Democrats. People like Cheney and Kinzinger, they're lifelong establishment conservatives. This is why you have lifelong liberals retweeting the Lincoln Project. They're two sides of the same coin. They're not populist in any way, shape, or form. They're establishment. Okay? They revere multinational organizations, non-government non-governmental organizations, they revere government. They revere the state. They revere state power. This is what gives them the influence. This is what gives them money, a tremendous amount of money, makes them wealthy, and allows them to live a pretty good life, and allows them to get away with crimes. Okay, when Richard Burr, a Republican, when he went ahead and sold stocks right after a classified briefing before March of 2020, he did so knowing that he wasn't going to get charged with insider trading, even though that's the definition. That is the definition of insider trading. That is the definition of insider trading. Oh, wait, Canadian. The discussion brings me back to 2016. Love it. Thanks, HA. Oh, wait, Canadian. Yes. God bless the people of Canada and those drivers. God bless them. And what they're doing will be remembered forever. Oh, wait, Canadian. Thank you. Thank you. Yvette Moore. Anyone still saying Orange Man bad now is either... post lobotomy. Yvette Moore. Yes. Yes. That man won a Nobel Prize, if you could believe that. Yvette Moore. That should tell you to always trust the experts, huh? Awake Canadian. That's so true. Yvette Moore. Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. Yvette, awake Canadian, everybody here. Eric, JG, Luke, everybody here. I am telling you, and Yvette brought this up, and it's so true before we continue. And awake Canadian, thank you so much. It doesn't matter what happens next. I am talking about DEFCON 2. We're at DEFCON 4. I'm talking about ICBMs. I'm talking about recession. Forget recession and depression, ICBMs. I'm talking about perhaps global warming within the span of a week, ending the planet, or a day, because of mutually assured destruction. And before it happens, Yvette and awake Canadian, James, hello, David, Ted, before it happens, they will say, at least Trump isn't tweeting. There is nothing that could take place from a global conflict, a nuclear confrontation leading to global annihilation. That would be a much better alternative to Trump winning the White House in 2024. It would be a much better alternative to most morally superior liberals around the world. And that's where we find ourselves. They're obsessed with this man. They did everything possible to set him up and frame him. And I was telling people in 2016, after he had won, I said, they're setting up and framing him. And my liberal friend said, you don't know. You don't know if they're setting up and framing him. Margaret, hello. They said, you don't know. We just have to investigate. But you don't investigate based on suspicion. You investigate based on evidence. Evidence is simply not, well, we think this took place, so therefore let's see if it's true. Nobody can say, well, I believe there's something in your briefcase, so give me your briefcase. I mean, it could happen in this day and age, but you don't investigate an incoming candidate based on the suspicion. Insubordinate, hello. You don't investigate an incoming candidate, an incoming president, based on the suspicion of his direct political rival. This is the problem here. They had nothing on Trump. This is what I keep trying to tell everybody. They don't have anything on Trump. They never had anything on Trump. They never had anything on Trump. He was in the spotlight for 40 years, basically. He was in the spotlight in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, 2010s, and up until 2016, he was in the spotlight. He had The Apprentice. He had buildings and real estate. He owned the USFL. His marriages were highly publicized. His life was highly publicized. He was in uh, rap lyrics, music lyrics. He was in what I think Home Alone, and he was in a whole bunch of cameo appearances and in a whole bunch of movies. They had nothing on him. He was part of Americana. He was viewed as a brash billionaire. Darcy, hello. He was viewed as a brash billionaire. That was the American dream. He was a, um, wealthy in the 80s, 90s. He was young, relatively young. And he was, brash, knew what he wanted, outspoken, and he was his own man, his own boss. He didn't have to really, bow to anybody or anything. And, he went bankrupt, which is actually not a bad thing. Like, he went bankrupt and then rebuilt his life. The Clintons, they, 8 years of Bill, and he had controversies, we know. And then after that, before that and after that, and during his presidency, there were questions about money, whether it was Whitewater or the Lincoln bedroom or the foundation. They were always being scrutinized because of how they obtained money. And the Clintons and Democrats and, the establishment Republicans, the Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld people, Cheney, for example, these people derive power and wealth through government. Government is the most lucrative, the absolute most lucrative endeavor. Okay? You get to engage in insider trading. They're not going to do anything to you. Richard Burr and Kelly Loeffler and others, and Dianne Feinstein and Pelosi and all that, they almost certainly engaged in insider trading. Nothing's going to happen to them. The FBI became a political organization on the top. Comey and Strzok and McCabe and others. Monique Smith! No way, Hillary. Monique, I think, you know what? Monique, thank you so much. I think she's going to run again. I know that people think I'm nuts. Can I tell you something? I will be 90 years old. She'll be 130 years old. And you know what? She will run and I'll be vindicated eventually. And I'll be in like, I'll be in a wheelchair and I'll be like, who's the man? He's running. I was right. I was right. Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's going to take place. You know what? Monique, I think that she's going to run again because she's looking at mashed potato brains and saying, oh my God. But Monique Smith, thank you so much. Thank you so very much, Monique. But Kilgore Trout, hello. But the nomination for the Democratic Party is preordained. It's just a whole show. But here, so you look, Durham filed a motion on February 11th. Durham actually filed a motion saying, look, the whole thing was purchased. They didn't have anything on Trump, so they had to buy a story. No one had to buy a story called Watergate, or no, Whitewater. No one had to buy a story called Monica Lewinsky. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was a story. That wasn't even my fault. I was talking about intercontinental ballistic missiles. And lo and behold, I needed a prop. And so, honestly, I just think somebody up there doesn't like me. Everybody's always picking on me. And they just ran with it, Ken Starr. Oh, we got Kavanaugh back. Don't worry about that. And we got Trump. And now he's getting us with the Durham probe. Look, The Democratic Party is imploding before our very eyes. We're going into a recession, possibly something close to a depression. We have about 15 to 20 interest rate hikes this year. The stock market is going to tank. I don't care if it goes up this week, it'll tank. 2 to 3,000 point drops. The stock market crash I predicted is taking place in slow motion, and it will, take place, unfortunately, in a really terrible manner. We have oil that's at 9. Look at just really quickly oil. Okay. Oilprices.com is one of the great websites. Oilprices.com is awesome. I check oilprices.com every day. WTI crude, $94, $94.59. Brent crude, $95.69. People, this every time oil goes up, the stock market, corporate profits eventually will decrease, and the economy will slow down. This is like, did I not say, ladies and gentlemen, the Durham probe would heat up alongside a dwindling economy? What did I tell you a couple of days ago? It was almost as if, like, I called it right before it happened. I said to you, ladies and gentlemen, I said inflation equals indictments. And again, this is a sad thing. Like, I want the country to prosper, but look, they'd rather have crime, homelessness, inflation, possible nuclear war. They'd rather have all these things than Trump tweeting. And you better believe Twitter is going to allow Trump back on towards election day. They're going to say, you know what, we're going to reverse course and allow Trump back. You better believe that. Teresa King, Madam Patsuit will try and spin this into a false personal attack on her to help her from holding any office in the future. Just wait and see. I agree with you, Teresa. I agree with you. Sequoia, hello. I agree with you, Teresa. Yeah, I mean 100%. Bogdana Papai! If the Don wins again, how bad do you think the reaction would be? I can't even begin to imagine. Bogdana Papai, I think that with the way Bogdana Papai, thank you so much always for your support. Thank you. I think with the way things are, I think with the way things are, there will be less, and there will be a smaller number of people who would rather have the end of the planet, but those people will still be there. I think that most Democrats will just shrug their shoulders, or I should say, no, I should say most Democrats will think it's the end of the world again. But I'll say that there will be a greater number of people who accept it this time around. Bogdana Babai, thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you. Emily, hello. By the way, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. So, Durham filed a motion on February 11th on potential conflicts of interest related to the representation of former Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussmann, who has been charged with making false statements to a federal agent. Sussmann has pleaded not guilty. The indictment against Sussmann says he told FBI General Counsel James Baker in September 2016, less than 2 months before the 2016 presidential election, that he was not working for any client when he requested and held a meeting in which he presented purported data and white papers that allegedly demonstrated a covert communication channel between the Trump Organization and Alpha Bank, which has ties to the Kremlin. Well, every bank in Moscow has ties to the Kremlin. So, by the way, you know who, this is one good thing about OBS. You know who, met with Putin. Um, let's see. So this is Bill Clinton sought state's permission to meet with Russian nuclear official during Obama uranium decision. Okay, he met with Putin. This is Bill Clinton instead got together with Vladimir Putin as the Russian leaders at the Russian leader's private homestead. Okay, okay, this is like this is one of the modern marvels that H.A. Goodman finally started using OBS. You can see it right here. This is the problem with the entire all of propaganda. If you just do a modicum of research, you realize it's all nonsense. And you have all of these intelligent people, all these brilliant atheists, and all these, wonderful thinkers and scholars and, academics and journalists. And oh my God, they've written so many books on how, God doesn't exist and how rational and logical people should be. And they think that Trump worked with Russia. And in reality, Bill Clinton met with Vladimir Putin, and money went into their foundation from Uranium One executives. And uranium mines were handed over to Putin. Under President Obama's administration, Ukraine was invaded under President Obama, and it'll be invaded under Biden. This would never have happened with Trump because he doesn't care about NATO. And honestly, neither do I. NATO caused the destruction of Libya, and it's going to cause almost certainly some terrible, terrible things, unfortunately, in Ukraine. And God bless the Ukrainian people. The West, NATO, the EU, the US owes Ukraine an apology. The whole thing was started because we told them that they could join. They asked to join. We said no. So what's the point? It's like standing outside of a nightclub and being promised that you'll get in and just waiting out in the cold for, forever until the nightclub closes. And then you hear, "Oh, well, sorry, you know what? You can't come in." But you know what? But you can come in, but you know what? We won't give you a time of when you can actually enter the nightclub. So, anyway, oil prices are almost at $100. They're at a 7-8 year high. They will reach past all-time highs. And, it's right here. We can see the Durham probe came out with a report. The indictment against Sussmann. The indictment told FBI General Counsel James Baker September 16, less than 2 months before the 2016 presidential that he was not working for any client. Of course, he was working for the Clintons and the Democratic Party. But Durham's filing on February 11th in section titled Factual Background reveals that Sussmann, hold on one second, had conveyed the allegations to the FBI on behalf of at least 2 specific clients, including technology executive Tech Executive One and a U.S.-based internet company, One, in the Clinton campaign. But Madam Secretary paid the tech executive and the internet company. That's the big thing. And then they engaged in surveillance of Trump's White House, which I don't know how that was able to take place without the White House knowing. So Devin Nunes was right, and all the slimy, egotistical, petulant, uh, journalists and media and government officials and former and current government officials, they were all, of course, wrong as always, because they're never right about anything. Okay, it's this um, it was an overt effort to try and harm an incoming president. They didn't care about the country. They cared about their political party. That's it. Durham's filing said Sussmann's billing records reflect that he repeatedly billed the Clinton campaign for his work on the Russia Bank 1 allegations. The filing revealed that Sussmann and the tech executive had met and communicated with another law partner who was serving as general counsel of the Clinton campaign. So that could be one of the top people at the Perkins Coie law firm. Sources told Fox News that lawyer is Mark Elias. So Mark Elias is potentially, possibly, a person that John Durham is looking at. Okay, did I not tell you, ladies and gentlemen? Did I not tell you? Have I not been telling you? Just like I predicted the stock market crash, just like I told you there's going to be a recession. Did I not tell you that the Durham probe is going to start indicting more people, and that's going to correlate to a spiraling, a dwindling economy and a skyrocketing inflation, oil prices going, higher and higher, past, eventually past an all-time high, the stock market tanking and crashing. This is, and then you have the geopolitical nightmare of Russia, Ukraine, and then China, Taiwan. What can we do as a country? Tell me what we can do as a country now after Biden botched, after mashed potato brains and bumbling Blinken, and Jake Sullivan, who also helped perpetuate this myth, who the Durham probe's likely looking at also. Tell me what we can do as a country to prevent anyone, whether it's President Xi or Putin, from doing anything. And I don't understand. We're sending soldiers to Europe, Eastern Europe. We have 70,000 permanently stationed American soldiers. What is the point of? You're not going. They have 4,000 to 5,000 plus nuclear weapons. He doesn't care. He's not going to be intimidated. Russia and Putin are not going to be intimidated at all. At any moment, they can obliterate the entire planet. So could we. So they can just stop playing the game, and that's it. So what is the point of, you already have NATO there. So what's the point of reinforcing countries in Eastern Europe that aren't even a part of NATO, but some that are a part of NATO? He's not going to invade Poland. He's not going to invade Romania. He's not going to invade any country other than Ukraine because of us, because of NATO. Yet again, NATO causes a big problem. What is the point? The whole point of NATO was to counter the Warsaw Pact, and the Warsaw Pact is no longer in existence, and it hasn't been in 30 plus years. So what's the point? Every country has its own defense budget. They also have regional military alliances. Poland is part of a regional military alliance as well. The Polish military is very, very strong and powerful. Romania has a strong and powerful military. All of these countries have powerful militaries. The UK and France have nukes. What's the point? Mashed potato brains yet again. He's going to Trump Russia. He's going to steal dossier this. And I'm telling you, it's going to get to DEFCON 2. Have I not been on a roll lately? I mean, you gotta give me that. Have I not been telling you what's taking place? Am I right all the time? No. But have I been right lately? I mean, I did say Clinton would lose to Trump. Nobody was saying that on the left. Have I not been telling you all of this? And I think that mashed potato brains is going to get us into a nuclear confrontation. They already the other day chased away, the Russian Navy chased away one of our nuclear armed subs. Okay? Then they have nuclear capable aircraft flying around Belarus. I mean, just look at the map. Hopefully I find a map that doesn't someone said I needed a life or something like that. It's really funny. Here, okay, let me find a map that's not completely dorky. Okay. Huh? No, not that. Okay, here. Okay, this isn't that bad. This isn't that bad. Okay, so here. Why is this not? Okay. All right. So here you have. So NATO is reinforcing, um, you know, military deterrent in Poland and Romania, um, in Germany, and I think even in Lithuania as well. And Russia has Belarus, and so you have you. But see, Russia is not invading Poland or Romania or any other country or Germany. They just want Ukraine. Or I don't know what exactly they want within Ukraine, maybe the capital, who knows? But it's because of NATO. What's the point of having NATO? It's causing so many problems. Ask the people of Libya. They completely obliterated Libya. The people of Libya haven't had a moment of peace. What is the point? Every one of these countries has its own military. And they all have pretty good militaries. Poland does, I know. But you have like all of these aircraft. Belarus wants to now be the site of nuclear weaponry for Russia. So that's not far from all of Europe. It's closer to all of Europe now. Not that they couldn't get all of Europe, Russia, but now you have an even greater situation. You talk about a powder keg like World War I. These alliances, they revere these. I don't want to get into. We can't get into the three-letter, multi national or non-governmental organizations. They revere all of this. Trump doesn't care about any of it. He knows a lot of it's a racket. But they want one country, and then you have all of these countries reacting. And the logic is, oh, we're going to show Putin. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Here. He doesn't care at all. He doesn't care. You can look right here. Nuclear arsenal by country. They have 6,257 nukes. We have 5,550. Why would they care what we do? Why would they care what NATO does? Why would they be intimidated? Why would anything we do prevent them from engaging in their national security or foreign policy objectives? We're not going to intimidate or deter anything. They have economic and military ties to Ukraine that, that relate to their most important national security objectives, and they're going to address these national security concerns at all cost. And it's because we have pretended that we would allow Ukraine into NATO. Yet again, NATO causes big problems. It was made to counter the Warsaw Pact. It was not made to, police or be in existence in 2022 or police the world in 2011 with Libya. And so, I mean, it's this is madness, absolute madness. I mean, it's absolute madness. What you already have, you already have. Um, let's look at here. What's going on here? Of course, this organization is, you know, wonderful. Why is mashed potato brains on the on the cover of Arms Control today? He should be on the cover of Pet Fancy or something, or Better Homes and Gardens, not Arms Control today. This man is the reason that this organization, armscontrol.org, is so rightfully worried about things. The Biden nuclear posture, which is basically, I don't even know what posture Biden would be in. The Biden nuclear posture is making sure that we get to DEFCON 2 and into a nuclear confrontation. We just had here a submarine, just like what we were talking about yesterday. So here, Russian warship chases off U.S. submarine near Pacific Island, Moscow. So it's already taking place. We're already getting into a nuclear confrontation. This is the other day. This shouldn't be happening. This should not be happening. Trump would have negotiated a deal, told Putin we have no intention of asking Ukraine to join NATO. He would have tried to negotiate some kind of deal with President Zelensky, who, by the way, is a very good president, from what I can see. President Zelensky told the world, hey, Trump never pressured me. Yet, of course, Democrats impeached him anyway because they're completely maniacal and obsessed with taking down Trump, even though they can't indict him or arrest him or charge him with anything. Now the investigations are going to take a turn. Now they're going to be investigated, and they've actually committed crimes. Just ask John Durham. 3 people indicted. And there's going to be a lot more. It's a special counsel. It can't be stopped. You can't stop the special counsel. So, and it's not just that. It's not just the submarine, the nuclear armed submarine. I mean, you have here Russia sends nuclear capable long range aircraft on patrol. I mean, it's heating up. It is heating up, people. It's heating up. And nobody really seems to care because they don't think it's even possible. Sparky! Russian troops are stationed on Ukraine border anyway. It's their permanent duty station. Satellite photos are cropped, so barracks aren't shown. Sparky! Exactly. It's unfortunate, but there should have been Sparky. I agree with you. Thank you so much, Sparky, as always. There should have been simply an agreement or a negotiation before all of this got to hundreds of thousands of Russian soldiers or over 100,000. There should have been some kind of agreement. There should have been some kind of agreement. And, man, did people get kicked off the stream? Sorry about that. I don't know why that happens. I have no clue why that happens. Just just refresh the screen if it does happen. So it's like I said, the more everything is heating up. Every story is heating up. Sparky, thank you. Everything is heating up, unfortunately. In connection with these efforts, Tech Executive One exploited his access to non-public and proprietary internet data. Tech Executive One also enlisted the assistance of researchers at a U.S.-based university who were receiving and analyzing large amounts of internet data in connection with a pending federal government cybersecurity research contract. So they were utilizing taxpayer money. Without humor, thank you. They were using taxpayer money to basically engage in surveillance of President Trump's presidency and his campaign before that. Tech Executive One tasked the researchers to mine internet data to establish an inference and narrative, tying then candidate Trump to Russia. In doing so, Tech Executive One indicated that he was seeking to please certain VIPs, referring to individuals at law firm One and the Clinton campaign. That law firm is going to spill the beans. Janet McGuffey! H.A., suddenly I thought you were like Paul Revere. Remember the famous poem? Exactly! Janet, thank you so much. I saw what you had written in the comment section a couple of segments ago regarding when I went to the supermarket. No, it was Whole Foods. I went to Whole Foods and bought Italian food. I'm not going to explain why, because it's forbidden to discuss. But thank you for even remembering that. My God, thank you for even watching for so long. Janet, thank you so much. Thank you, Janet. Greatly, greatly appreciated. And thanks always for your support and for being a member for so long. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, did anybody even watch that? And you did, so I appreciate that. So, here I am. Oh, don't I look pretty good? Oh, my goodness. I had to pretend I was happy here. They look like, hey, they look happy. Of course, this was when Trump was being sworn in. President Trump didn't realize what he was getting himself into. He didn't realize that from the second he was president. And that's why the worst thing, the biggest mistake Trump did was letting Michael Flynn go. Had he kept Michael Flynn and stood by him, that whole thing would have come crashing down. The whole thing would have come crashing down. Durham also writes that during Sussmann's trial, because he could have fired Comey, had he kept Flynn, there wouldn't have been like, oh, and he told me to let the Michael Flynn thing, go soft on him, and he asked for my allegiance. It's like, he's lying about everything or whatever. Like, every president has a loyal administration, except Trump. Trump's administration shouldn't be loyal to him. So according to media and Democrats and wonderful, morally superior liberals among us, he should never have anybody loyal to him. Only President Obama and Biden and Clinton and Bush should have people loyal to them. Durham also writes that during the Sussmann's trial, the government will establish that among the internet data Tech Executive One and his associates exploited was domain name system, internet traffic pertaining to a particular healthcare provider, Trump Tower, Donald Trump's Central Park West apartment building, wow, and the executive office of the President of the United States. How did they get the office of the President? How did they get the office of the President? How is that even possible? Maybe by, bugging his cell phone? I don't know. How is that even possible? How on earth is that possible? The office of the President. So, that's a national security concern right there. So Durham is, this man is on the case. He's dealt with criminal organizations before, organized crime. So he knows. He knows. Janet! Janet McGuffey, thank you! Thank you, Janet. Greatly appreciated. So kind of you, as always. Thank you so very much, Janet. Thank you. Janet McGuffey, thank you. That was a fun little. That was before the dystopian nightmare that we all had to live through because Democrats Trump Russia'd even that topic. Slowly people will realize, ladies and gentlemen, that maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't always, I should say, well, we have to be careful. We have to be careful. Revere the highly educated among us because sometimes they lack wisdom. Sometimes they're maniacs. Sometimes they're highly educated maniacs who are easily duped. Sometimes they're gullible, highly educated maniacs. And maybe we shouldn't revere them as a society. See, when Trump became president, one tactic they used was, these people disagree with Trump and they're very smart. And Trump is not smart. He's a buffoon. And look at these very educated people. They disagree with Trump. And there's a consensus, of course, that's fabricated, and any dissent is completely crushed. But this consensus, we all agree. In fact, there's 500 former, current, and officials that haven't even been born yet who've written a letter saying that Trump is a big problem to democracy. Maybe we should ignore these people. Maybe, just maybe, we should ignore these people. I love that people are like, I've never seen an administration lie so much. I've never seen a president lie so much. No, I don't. Have you ever paid attention to Bill Clinton or mashed potato brains now or Bush? How about the Bush administration? Mission accomplished. What's a greater lie than that? Janet McGuffey, thank you. Janet, thank you so very, very much. So, I mean, Durham, okay, so Durham states that internet company one, that tech executive one worked for, quote, had to come to access and maintain dedicated servers for the executive of the office of the president as part of a sensitive arrangement whereby it provided DNS resolution services to the EOP. How does any of this take place? I mean, how do you do all of that in the president's office? So was it the Oval Office? Is that what they're? I think that's what they're trying to say. I just think it would seem to be impossible. So Durham is definitely now on the case. This is infinitely worse than Watergate. In Watergate, it was Nixon himself, recording himself. This is other people recording Trump, and they still couldn't find anything. Tech executive one and his associates exploited this arrangement by mining the EOP's DNS traffic and other data for the purpose of gathering derogatory information about Donald Trump, Durham states. So these people all committed crimes. Sorry, it's a huge crime. You know how many people at that law firm probably committed crimes? Just because they engaged in incremental like the incremental activity, doing this and that and this and this was legal and that was legal and this was legal, and then when you look at it in aggregate, it was all breaking the law, but they did so methodically where they weren't really breaking the law, but here and there, but actually, surveillance of the White House is breaking the law, and that's a huge national security risk also. Huge national security risk. So I don't know how they got away with it. The filing also reveals Sussmann provided an updated set of allegations, including the Russia bank data and additional allegations relating to Trump to a second agency of the U.S. government. Durham says the allegation relied in part on the purported DNS traffic that tech executive one and others had assembled pertaining to Trump Tower, Donald Trump's new New York City apartment. So, I mean, and this was, did they get a warrant for any of this? I mean, how were they able to do all of this? You can't simply get away with this. I mean, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable how they were able to do this. It's ludicrous. In Sussmann's meeting with the second U.S. government agency, Durham says he provided data where he claimed, which he claimed reflected purportedly suspicious DNS lookups. But this is not. What is suspicious DNS lookups by these entities of Internet Protocol addresses affiliated with a Russian mobile phone provider? So what? They didn't do that with Bill Clinton. And he actually met with Putin at his home and claimed the lookups demonstrated Trump and his associates were using supposedly rare Russian-made wireless phones where in the vicinity of the White House and other locations. But that's not the job of Clinton's lawyers. That's the job of $30 billion in FBI, National Security Agency, and Central Intelligence Agency budgets. Those three alone have a $30 billion budget. They couldn't find this out. They couldn't find out if anyone anywhere on the planet, much less the White House, is contacting us. And Clinton had private servers for 4 years, and they apparently didn't know. Yeah, right. Clinton had private servers for 4 years, and then they come up with a story that Trump flushed papers down the toilet. Matthew Richardson. Matthew, that would be interesting. I respectfully disagree. I don't think that's possible. But Matthew, thank you so very, very, very much. Sometimes you just got to take the L. I've taken the L many times in my life. Got to take the loss. You know, the Democrats had media, they had intelligence operatives, they had a powerhouse law firm, and they were able to set up and frame Trump. And, you know, it's unfortunate. But we're heading towards a recession and very likely a nuclear confrontation. And it's when they raise interest rates in March, if it's very likely to be 50 basis points, it's game over. I mean, again, they say, well, it's priced into the market. Nothing's priced in right now. The stock market is like a giant balloon that's stretched full of air and just about to burst. Okay? I mean, it's just about to burst. Look, stock market crash, nuclear confrontation, recession into a depression, oil prices at all-time highs, inflation, runaway inflation. They're going to say at least Trump is not tweeting. They would rather have all of this. It doesn't even matter. They would rather have all of this. One of the most beautiful days in the history of mankind will be if and when, hopefully when, but if the Donald gets back, wins it, and then the reaction in 2024 will be absolutely priceless. The insanity, the vitriol, the scream, the angry, maniacal screams will be heard throughout the universe. Any extraterrestrial thinking of invading us will hear the apoplectic screams of morally superior liberals after Trump takes it again. and those extraterrestrials would be like, yeah, we were going to invade Earth, but you know what? Forget that. They're frightening people. For example, the more complete data that tech executive and his associates gathered but did not provide to Agency 2 reflect that between approximately 2014 and 2017, there were a total of 3 million lookups of Russian phone Prover 1B. But that was okay, they found out that it was a marketing, this was a marketing like software program. Also, let's say he did business in Russia. Who cares? So did the Clintons. Who cares? You can do business in Russia. Yeah, you're still allowed to do that. It's fine. So it's like, okay, so in his meeting with Agency 2 employees, defendants also made a substantially similar false statement as he made to the FBI general counsel. In particular, the defendant asserted that he was not representing a particular client. In truth and in fact, the defendant was representing Tech Executive 1. In fact, the defendant subsequently acknowledged under oath in December 2017 testimony before Congress without identifying the client by name. Okay, this is the problem with, this man Sussmann, he set up and framed Trump, but he's actually not guilty of lying to the FBI. Michael Sussmann is not guilty of lying to the FBI because they were both in on it. So the legal counsel James Baker knew very well who he was working for. Durham is very smart, so he's allowing the bureau officials to distance themselves, causing both sides to flip and sing. They're going to flip and sing. Remember when Michael Avenatti was going to flip and sing? Remember Avenatti 2020? Huh? Avenatti 2020? Avenatti 2020. Michael Avenatti is winning the Democratic primary. Herschel Ballard. Read, write, hello. Herschel Ballard. Thank you, Herschel. Thank you, Herschel. Thank you so much, as always, Herschel Ballard. So kind of you, as always. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Herschel, as always. It's just so kind of you. Michael Avenatti is mulling a 2020 run for president. The case for Michael Avenatti 2020. That's a good one. That's a good one. Save SCOTUS. My God. I'm telling you, you just look, if you look at everything, how all of this is turning out, 2022 is going to be like the end of the Democratic Party as we know it. It's going to implode. They're going to first they're going to lose both the House and the Senate. Then mashed potato brains will be impeached immediately in 2023, but they're going to lose the House and the Senate, so they'll lose their base of power. They're going to be investigated, endless investigations, because they actually did commit crimes. They set up and framed Trump. The Durham probe will benefit from those investigations, and will also the indictments. There will probably be a lot more indictments from now until midterms. Unfortunately, like I say, save your money as I'm begging for Super Chat. Save your money every month, people. It's going to be devastating. We're going into a recession. The Atlanta Fed, 0.1% here. Atlanta Fed GDP. Oh, 0.7%. Wow. It was 0.1% before. Now it's 0.7% GDP growth. Okay? 0.7%. It was 0.1%. Why? How they increase it with all of these problems, supply chain, break everything, whatever. But you have 0.7% GDP growth. What makes anyone think in the second quarter or third quarter it's going to get any better? Especially when you have the stock market tanking, oil prices increasing, inflation skyrocketing, spiraling through the roof. Mashed potato brains Biden makes Jimmy Carter look like George Washington. And it's only getting worse. But again, at least Trump is not ruining democracy. Democracy to them is crime, homelessness, inflation, geopolitical nightmares. At least we have democracy because Trump isn't there. He's not mean. Although Biden uses profanity against people and he's like mean to everybody, apparently. Or at least mean to, he's cranky. Mashed potato brains is cranky. He gets cranky. He gets cranky. Monique Smith! Have a great evening. Thank you, Monique Smith. Thank you. Matthew! See, M2 velocity. Excess reserve. That's right. Matthew Richardson, thank you. Yes. The Fed is no longer buying debt, or the taper is going to begin, or is beginning slowly. And they're also going to sell government debt, which they've been doing, and which has negatively impacted the bond market. And I mean, the interest rate hike 7. I mean, why not 70? They're going to raise interest rates. The whole stock market is predicated upon low interest rates. And they don't care. See, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling everyone this. They do not, whether it's Jerome Powell or Biden, they don't care if the stock market crashes. They do not care. Okay? They don't care. They care about getting a handle on inflation. That's the real issue. Feel it, exactly. They care about making sure inflation doesn't tank Democrats in 2024. So if they have a stock market crash, they'll just say they'll blame Trump somehow. Who knows what they'll say? They'll say, who knows what they'll say? I don't even know. But they're not going to take responsibility for it. They don't want inflation because inflation is going to, if they don't get a foothold on inflation, and they won't get a foothold on inflation. Millard, hello. If they don't get a foothold on inflation, and now I'm going to put everyone to sleep. You could listen to this if you have insomnia. The stock market and the economy is residing under a sword of Damocles. We have inflation that, if it's not kept in check, if they don't prevent it from going over 7.5%, and because it's really 15% if it was calculated in terms of 1982 methodology. If inflation gets to 10%, 12%, 13%, 14%, 15%, which is really what it's around now, they can raise interest rates all they like this year. It's not going to make a dent. Maybe after the third interest rate hike, it'll make a dent. I don't know. According to Peter Schiff, it's not even going to matter. According to Peter Schiff, they can raise interest rates 7 times, and it still won't prevent inflation from skyrocketing. So they're going to raise interest rates 7 times. Inflation is still going to go, it's still going to skyrocket. It's not funny. You should save your money, as I beg for super chat. But every month, what have I been telling people? Save your money in a savings account. Don't worry about investing. Don't worry. This is going to be the worst time to invest, people. The worst time to invest. And they don't care if they tank the market. And Bitcoin's going to get to 10,000. The Dow's going to get to 20,000. Oil is going to get to well over $150 per barrel because Russia and Ukraine, who knows how that's going to play out if Russia takes a certain part of Ukraine, or if it takes the capital, or if it occupies the capital. What if it occupies the capital, Kiev? So then what? Then what? You know what'll happen if they occupy the capital of Ukraine. It will be Biden and NATO trying to one-up Putin. So they'll continue, you know what, we're sending tens of thousands of Americans, and you know what, we're gonna go ahead and send more armaments to all of the countries in Eastern Europe, and we're gonna do this and that, and that's going to only make things worse. There's nothing we can do militarily. We need Trump to negotiate a deal. He negotiated the Doha Agreement, with which bumbling Blinken and mashed potato brains and Sullivan completely botched. They're completely incompetent. They are completely incompetent. They fall upwards, though. It's like a football coach that continues to lose but gets better jobs. And the most petulant media, media will not ever admit that Trump was better. So they're always going to try to spin things. Oh, well, we're showing Putin. This is happening under Biden. This is happening under mashed potato brains, Democrats in the House, Senate, and the executive. It's everything the media said, the opposite is taking place. Matthew Richardson. No, do not sit on cash against the M2 velocity. Matthew, thank you. I mean, I just think the velocity of money, yeah, it's been tanking. I did a segment on that on the stock market crash channel a couple weeks back. But with the volatility and everything spiraling downwards, I mean, I don't even want to speculate. Sure, if you wanted to buy oil or energy, but even that, I wouldn't. I would just keep, because there's deflation also. So you can't go wrong if you just kept money in a savings account, even though maybe you could say with inflation or with the way the economy is, you're losing purchasing power, but at least you have a nest egg or savings if God forbid you're laid off because the corporation you work for has to lay people off. I'm just saying that it's going to get really bad, and they're probably going to pump more money into the system again. Oh, I love that JG. Love it. Love it. You could buy it at Whole Foods or Ralph's or Kroger. Um Ladies and gentlemen, really quickly, we will go and let's see. Let's just look at the New York Post really quickly. A Clinton campaign paid tech workers to find Trump Russia connections. Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign paid an internet company to infiltrate servers of Trump Tower and the White House in order to link Donald Trump to Russia, new legal filings allege. When the Durham probe is directly pointing out that Clinton did this to Trump, Clinton is now under investigation, or at least her campaign is, or the lawyers, the attorneys of the law firm that worked for her is under investigation. When you use the phrase "the walls are closing in," the walls really are now closing in, because the Durham probe, they all Durham needs is Sussmann or any of those attorneys to spill the beans. If Mark Elias is indicted, the whole thing comes crashing down. So here, eyes turn on Hillary Clinton, not Trump and Russiagate scandal. And I wrote about this. This is just today, but I wrote about this. You could type in. I wrote about this, ladies and gentlemen, not to toot my own horn. Did I not write about this in 2019? John Durham needs to investigate why info generated in the Mueller probe is all linked to Hillary Clinton by H.A. Goodman, May 30th in 2019. Did I not write about this, people? Did I not write about this? So I wrote about this. I wrote about this years back. Phil B. Me too. Think food, fertilizer shortage. Yep. No corn, wheat, inflation, no money for farmers. Yep. Mattress for silver. Well, again, um, I think that with FDIC, you're safe to a point, and I just think that liquidity is the most important thing. It wouldn't hurt to have actual cash, just in case ATMs stop working for a moment. But um, Estelle, thank you. So I think that everyone should be focused on as much liquidity as possible. If you're about to retire, you shouldn't be in the stock market. If you're about to retire, the only investment advice I'll give is if you are about to retire right now, you should not be owning any stocks. And even depending on what kind of bonds, you should really pay attention to that. But you shouldn't be owning any stocks, mutual funds, because everything's going to tank. All people, uh, all 73 million people. Yes, 73 million files. That's not authoritarian. All 73 million Americans. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Um, so I was writing about this in 2019. Okay. Um, Actually, Rush Limbaugh, before he passed away, um, Rush Limbaugh, before he passed away, shared this article 2 days in a row. God bless him. 2 days in a row on his show. Pretty awesome. pretty awesome. I never thought I would enjoy listening to Rush Limbaugh most of my life because I was such a hardcore liberal Democrat. But, 20 years ago, Bush Republicans, Fox News, they were on the wrong side of history. Now it's Democrats, MSNBC and CNN on the wrong, Washington Post, New York Times on the wrong side of history. Now the pendulum could swing back to Republicans being on the wrong side of history. I don't see that for a while because Trump Republicans are far more of a populist movement. In today's world, a populist movement is far more. They talk about equity, far more focused on equity than the establishment, which wants to crush any resistance. My God. Look what, we'll just say, look what Justin is doing in Canada. And just speak like that because the algorithm or YouTube guidelines. Whatever. Trudeau. Look what he's doing in Canada. My God. And then you have like Democratic governors who, by the way, had the worst responses to you know what. Oh, we'll send you forklifts to just pick up the trucks. Like, oh, wow, you are an amazing governor. And don't you love all the liberals? Like, they're like, yeah, let's crush the resistance. Like, this is exactly, if you were like a socialist, this is exactly what the nonviolent, there isn't billions in property damage. This is a peaceful demonstration where you're proving to the entire world and the economy that there's very heroic and courageous people who are extremely important to economic activity. And then you have these people in power like, oh yeah, this is really bad. It's costing a lot of money. Yeah, maybe you should rethink your policies. Maybe you should rethink your policies. When there were curfews every single night, it was fiery but peaceful. But God forbid, God forbid you actually have to have these liberal politicians everywhere. Brigitte Olsen, thank you. Thank you, Brigitte. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Brigitte Olsen, thank you so very much. Thank you, Brigitte. Thank you so much. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. I appreciate you watching. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you for watching in Denmark. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. So, the Durham probe, and I'm telling you she's going to run again. I'm telling you she's going to run again. Even if she's indicted, she'll run again. So, it really doesn't matter. I want her to run so badly. I swear to God. Please, Hillary Clinton, run, please. I will be the biggest supporter. Not because, and look, they said that about Trump. She could win. I swear to God, oh my God, I feel that I'll be vindicated. It'll be like the greatest euphoria for me. Yeah, fine, we'll probably get into a nuclear annihilation and whatever. But I'm like those people with the opposite. Oh my God, they gave me so much heat when I said, maybe I vote for Bernie and just not Clinton. I didn't know Bernie Sanders was a tool, an absolute tool of the system. Maybe a nice person, but a tool of the system. Gets cheated, says nothing. You kidding? Oh my God. And they're gonna say no, and then when she is the nominee, they'll be like, if you don't vote for her, it'll be the same thing again. And I will look from the sidelines, voting for Trump, and I'll say, You have to vote, Madam Secretary. And I'll just watch that entire side devour themselves. It'll be so um, enlightening. And who knows? She could win. I mean, you can't say, no, never say never. You can't say that Clinton couldn't win because after the stock market crash and the recession into a depression, Lord knows what'll happen. They'll probably believe that there'll be a dossier on Trump where he has an extramarital affair with an extraterrestrial, and he was siding with Martians to actually invade the planet. It was in Mother Jones and Yahoo News. This is worse than American democracy. He is trying global domination by Martians. Elon Musk, do you have anything to say about this? Trump, he was going to basically sacrifice every human being. He was going to give up 7 billion plus people as a fuel and food source for Martians to devour the insides of our bodies. I mean, isn't Clinton better than this? It's in a new book by Maggie Haberman. It's true. It's been corroborated by Axios. It doesn't matter what happens, they're still gonna get 80 million people. It doesn't matter what happens. Do you understand? Do you understand? I just want, please, Rod, please. Oh, it'll be the best because she will crush, she will obliterate. And there's good progressive pundits. I don't want to, they're really good people who are on the progressive side. I don't want to diss anybody because there are good people. JG, JG, you will look. You will look and you will enjoy. JG, you will enjoy the beauty and the splendor. This live stream will go on for 2 hours with this picture. Gilgore Trout, thank you. I just want Hillary Clinton to run again. After everything that I've been through, writing like over 200 articles in the Huffington Post, most of which actually went through editors. It's like all of the Bernie stuff went through editors. And then now they're like, oh, we don't like Hillary. Oh, you don't? Oh, now you don't? Because before you did. In fact, before you were completely apoplectic and hysterical as always. I remember when I first was writing about Bernie Sanders, I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. And I didn't realize the tribalism. I didn't realize how absolutely insane and mad they all were. So I was like, I think that Bernie Sanders is better. So I'm just not going to vote for Clinton. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I said, she's not going to win. She can't win. Trump will win. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong. And then Trump won. And I thought that I was vindicated. Still not. No, that didn't happen. It was not. They didn't even take a second to look in the mirror. They didn't even take a second. Do you understand? They didn't even take a second. And so I want her. Oh my God. She looks fantastic. I want her to win. Not the presidency, but she will win the Democratic nomination if she runs in 2024. And it'll be the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Can I tell you something? What has to happen is Bernard Sanders has to kiss the ring. He's got to kiss the ring. Kneel before Zod. Bernard Sanders has to. Great. JG, you will enjoy. Bernard Sanders has to kneel before Zod. Kiss my ring. This is what Bernie has to. This is what Bernie's going to be soon. This is Bernie when Clinton runs in 2024 and wins, which will be preordained. Uh, this will be Bernie. Huh? Clinton will be Zod. Come on. You serious? Yes. 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 Kneel before Zod. Can I get this picture or no? That's not possible, is it? That will not be possible. It will not be possible because I don't know why. Just want here. This will be this will be Bernie Sanders. So this is Bernie Sanders and this is Hillary Clinton in 2024. And it'll be a beautiful sight. Oh, Madam Secretary, again. I mean, you cheated me the third time. I was winning in Iowa in 2024, and something happened. There was a problem with the calculators, apparently. Jake Sullivan was holding the calculator. Ah, no problem. No, don't worry, I won't say anything. Power to the people. Yeah, the billionaire class. Whatever you say. Kiss the ring. Okay, again, I gotta kiss the ring. Michigas. My God. Kiss the ring. Okay. Everyone on the left will be kissing the ring, and it'll be beautiful. Please run again, Hillary Clinton. She could win. And I'm not even, look, I'm trying to tell you she could win, which would be a nightmare for the country, but she could win. She has a better chance than mashed potato brains again, I'll tell you that. She would make a better president than mashed potato brains, but not nearly as good as President Trump. So, again, I gotta kiss the ring. Again. All this mishigas I go through. I bust my kumquats for all of this. For what? To kiss the ring? Can't stand this life. Anyway. uh, Vijit, thank you so very, very much. You're so welcome from Denmark. Thank you so much, Vijit. Thank you so very much. Vijit, you have a beautiful country with beautiful people. We have kneel before Hillary. Kneel before Hillary. Okay. I'm Bernard Sanders. Yet again, have to kiss the ring. Oh my God. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Okay, let's get away from here. You don't have to deal with the recession coming up. Oh, there's nuclear war on the horizon. That's fun. Nothing to see here, no problem. Putin reminds everybody that Ukraine joining NATO would lead to nuclear. It's okay. At least it's not Trump, like I said. At least it's not Trump tweeting. Brigitte, thank you again. So kind of you. Thank you so much. Hi, Caroline. Hello. What's Bernie Sanders saying? We have to see what Bernie Sanders. What's Bernie saying? Bernard Sanders. Student loan debt. That's what's important now. Not thermonuclear annihilation. Annihilation, schmihilation. Whatever. You'll all be glowing. Nobody will be alive, but by God, the student loan debt will be canceled not because they're not going to cancel it. So let's talk about it. It's part of my racket. How does it happen that SoFi, a student loan refinancing company, could spend $625 million to put its name on the LA Rams? But how does it happen that SoFi, a student loan refinancing company, could spend $625 million to put its name on the LA Rams football stadium when 45 million Americans are drowning in $1.8 trillion of student debt? You decided to major in basket weaving and oceanography, and studies of this and that. You couldn't open up a philosophy store, and now you're in $1.8 trillion in student debt. Today would be a good day for the president to cancel student debt or maybe prevent nuclear war. I don't know which one is more important. Let's see. It's a toss-up. We're about to have a nuclear confrontation with Putin, but whatever. Who cares? The stock market's going to crash. We're heading towards a depression. But let's keep talking about student debt, which, by the way, he doesn't want to cancel because he doesn't care. But I get retweeted, so that's what's good. He lives in his own world. The man lives in his own world. Ha ha! Millard, hello. He lives in his own world. He doesn't even care. It's almost like he's living in his own world. Corporate greed is giving Kroger, okay. Corporate greed is giving Kroger, its CEO, a 296% pay raise over the past decade. 44% of Kroger workers can't afford rent. Needless to say, maybe it could have been because Democrats and media pushed to end the U.S. economy. Maybe that had something to do with it. Who knows? Amazing, Colonel. Thank you. So he's just doing his thing. None of them are actually talking about the boiling pot of like this increasing tensions between two nuclear powers. They're not talking about any of this. They're not talking about inflation. Why is Bernie Sanders talking about Kroger? I mean, the Kroger employees, like everyone, have to deal with inflation at 7.5%. It's a lot more than that. Seven interest rate hikes. Forbes, seven interest rate hikes needed but unlikely. Goldman now predicts seven interest rate hikes. It'll be seven interest rate hikes. Ted, thank you. Millard, thank you. So, I mean, seven interest rate hikes. Look, if you combine 7 interest rate hikes and oil prices going through the roof and the supply chain breakdown still taking place and labor shortages in key industries and peaceful demonstrations and Russia, Ukraine and NATO and Russia in you know, continuing this Cold War tension, continuing, you know, this brinkmanship, this this you know, increase in um when you have two Cold War adversaries, nuclear powers, and they are continually trying to prove to one another that they can't be deterred or they can't be, prevented from engaging in their own national interests. Um, it's not good. It's bad. Very bad. Very, very bad. So, but all of this, this is like everything bad taking place all at once. That's why I say take care of your lives. Rensler! The system threw aliens or UFOs at us on and off the last several months. No one cares. Rensler! Rensler, thank you. Rensler, thank you. I saw that, Eliza. I saw that. Rensler, thank you so very, very much. Rensler! This is all fear mongering. I agree with you on that. The media is ruthless, absolutely ruthless. Every day, also, it's like, Rensler, thank you so very much. Every day, it's, we know what Russia's doing. On the 16th. It's on the 16th. No, the 15th. No, the 17th. No, the 16th at 5 p.m. They're about to. Hey, we know what you're doing. It's like each day. It's true that tensions are. It's true that tensions are escalating. We're closer and closer to getting into a nuclear confrontation. That is true. But you don't have any media is definitely not holding people accountable. Very rarely will you see an article, hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't engage in this type of behavior. Media has zero care about the trauma alone from shutting down economic activity, from it's like the trauma and the fear and the anxiety and the angst that media perpetuates. And you saw it the past 2 years. It's only getting worse because they make so much money in media. In media, if you're in the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News as well, obviously, but the most corrupt political side is the Democratic Party, morally superior liberal side. It was the Trump Republic. It was the Bush and Cheney and Rumsfeld Republicans and Fox News in early 2000s. Now it's MSNBC, CNN, and the Democratic Party. They're the most corrupt political side. Republicans were the most corrupt political side in the early 2000s. Democrats are the most corrupt political side now. Um, Janet McGuffey. Janet, thank you. Rinsler, thank you. Janet, thank you so very, very much, Janet. Thank you. Because you are so kind and awesome. I'm not going to put up a picture of Madam Secretary, I was just going to do that right now. It was going to ruin JG's night even more, putting up a picture of Clinton. But I won't do that. Out of respect for you, Janet, thank you. Thank you so very much, Janet. Thank you. That's so kind of you. Oil prices, Janet, everybody here, thank you so very, very much. WTI crude, $94. Brent crude 95, over 94, 95. It's gonna when it hits over $100, market's gonna tank even more. Janet, thank you so much. Glacial Durham. It's gonna speed up eventually. We're seeing it right now. Um, let's look at the stock market. Look, 1,000 points down. 1,000 points down. Yet Thursday, Wednesday, yet Wednesday, February, uh, Wednesday, February 9th. Wednesday, February 9th. 35,763. Fast forward 2 days. 34,731. And if it went down 1,000 points in a day, people would notice. It was 1,000 points in 2 days. People, it could go to 29,000 in the blink of an eye. Like in a month. In a month. It was at 34,000. It went below 34,000 to 33,000. Okay, at one point, I think it was January January 27th or 26th. It was at 33,000. Okay, it's at 34,000 now. 738, 738. And the Nasdaq's getting pummeled. Look at the Nasdaq. I mean, in March of 2020, it was at 6,879. Who knows how low it'll go? How low can you go? The S&P, there people. Jeremy Grantham says 50% down. So 25, 2,600, 2,700. So I mean, uh, Columbo, I can't do right now. I apologize. I got a quick question to ask you. Janet, thank you so very much. Wow, Brigitte. That is high in taxes. That is high. The quality of life is probably better. I'm sure it's probably better. Um, America is a beautiful place. The U.S. is a beautiful place. And but you have to make sure to ignore all the noise because there's so much noise. There's so much media is so loud, politicians are so loud, and they're obnoxious and arrogant, and they lie so much, and they obsess over Trump like it's like unbelievable. I never, when I was writing about Clinton breaking the law, I never talked about her personality, ever, not once. I never said anything about her morality or personality. Oh my God. They're obsessed with Trump. Oh, democracy. It's like they're ruining democracy. They're the ones who want to silence any speech they don't like. They like speech comes with consequences. Well, then um, level out the consequences to people on your side. They never focus on consequences when their side messes up. So I mean, this is only going to get look at how volatile. Look at the volatility here. Look at the volatility. It's like put everyone asleep. And like I said, like God bless the people of Ukraine. It could get if Russia decides to take the capital, if Putin decides to take the capital, and of course Biden is going to react in the most counterproductive manner. Media is going to push that reaction on. Rinsler! USS Constitution, $1,794 was 322,000. Looked up to $20 a day ago. That morning, the result was 7.3 million. Posted a link on Facebook that evening, and the result clocked in at 7.4 million. Wow, Rinsler, awesome. Yeah, that's interesting. There are these sites that you can kind of see um, Rinsler. There are a couple really cool websites where you could see what a dollar was worth in 1920 compared to now. Very cool. USS Constitution, nice. Rinsler, thank you so very very much. Thank you so very very much. That's right. Actually, 302,000. That's on Wikipedia. Wow. And 302,000 at that time. Rinsler, thank you so much, Rinsler. Thank you. Sorry, that evening jumped to 7.6 million. Wow. One of the six Navy ships authorized in 1794. Wow. Awesome. It is a beautiful vessel. I'm looking at it right now. Here, we can look at it right now. Rinsler. Let's look at it right now. What's going on? Okay. I don't want to Wikipedia. See if I can get a good one. Why is it impossible for me to get a good? Okay, here. That's pretty awesome right here. USS Constitution. Look at those cannons. Ooh. Fire guns and salute. Wow, look at that. Pretty cool. Glenn Evans, keep up the great work. Keep the faith, Patriots. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you so very much, Glenn. Thank you. Rinsler, USS Constitution. Pretty awesome. Glenn, thank you so very much. Thank you, Glenn. Um, let's see. Oh, that's a nice picture right there. Beautiful. That is beautiful. Pretty awesome. Let's look at, is there any other better photos? Wow. Look at that. Let's see here. It's pretty awesome. Rensler! What I thought was interesting was how the dollar got weaker in their calculations by 300 some million in 9 hours the same day. That's wow. That is, I didn't realize that from your what you were saying. That's true. That's true. It's pretty amazing. That is true. And it's probably going to get, well, let's see. When there's a recession, when a global recession, people flock to the dollar. Isn't that correct? Hi, Caroline. Isn't it nice? All right. When we hit 2 minutes, 2 hours, not 2 minutes, 2 hours, we're done. So that's 3 minutes from now. Um, ladies and gentlemen, all I can tell you, let's look at here. This is Jake Sullivan's hilarious. This is a political. U.S. watching very carefully for phony Russian reason to kick off Ukraine invasion. A phony reason. This is the Economist. To Russian denials, America warns of imminent invasion of Ukraine. So it's like, what is the what is the objective of what media is doing? So because we knew that for months now that Russia was close to invading Ukraine. So what is the point of all of this? What on earth is the point of all of this? To say, "Oh, we told you." It's like we already knew. They don't want to be they don't want Ukraine as part of NATO. That is a huge problem. Yet again, um, how does NATO help the world? How does NATO help Europe? Russia is not a threat to invade Poland or any other country. Bruce, hello. Bruce Wayne, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. This has been an amazing, 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 amazing live stream. Rinsler, Janet, everybody here, thank you so much. JG, I, Caroline, Eric, Luke, thank you so very much. It's been absolutely wonderful, people. Be here tomorrow. I'll have a live stream tomorrow at around 8 p.m., 9 p.m. again. And ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Stay safe. This next year is going to be a terrible, terrible year for the economy, for the stock market. And I've been telling people since my Federalist article, I predicted all of this. And don't be surprised if there's a nuclear confrontation between the U.S. and Russia, because mashed potato brains never had a foreign policy decision that ever worked out in his entire life. So we'll see. Stay safe. Focus on love tomorrow, especially happiness, joy, laughter. Focus on your life and happiness, and make sure that you have money saved up, as I beg for super chats, but money saved up every month. Save money. There's no way to predict how this president and media will just and the stock market and the economy. We don't know how far things will descend, but it's going to get exponentially worse, unfortunately. So just be prepared financially and emotionally, and focus on your happiness first and foremost. Hit subscribe. Thank you so much. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. Everybody here to my super chat. Thank you, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.